Coconut is perhaps the most versatile palm variety. Among the palm, you have different varieties of palm, and coconut is the most versatile. India is one of the major producer of coconut. India, then the coastal country or the island nations of Philippines and Indonesia, they account for more than 75% of the global coconut production. India, Indonesia, Philippines, these the country where you have long coastal area. These are the major producer of coconut. Almost entire part of the coconut tree has utility. Entire part. In general, you will find that productivity level in India is on the lower side. Productivity level in India is on the lower side, but in the context of your palm, in the context of your coconut tree, India has the highest productivity. More than 10,000 nuts per hectare, where the average global productivity is around say 5,800, or you can say roughly around 6,000 nuts per hectare. So it is nearly 60 or 70% higher than the global average production. That is a very good thing. And India has a huge population. So we are not only the major producer but also the major consumer. Almost entire production is consumed. We go for drinking the raw the coconut water, then the ripened coconut, when it is ready, then it is utilized for different purpose, right from chutney to sweet and to other application. Coconut becomes important. Now the climatic requirement for coconut is your humid tropical climate and salinity. The two key things are humidity, humid climate and salinity. Humidity and salinity are the two key requirements for coconut plant. The coconut plant can tolerate high pH or acidic soil, alkaline soil. 0 to 7, 0 to 14 is the pH scale, 7 is neutral, more than 7 is alkaline, and less than 7 is acidic. So 0 to 7 is acidic, and 7 above 7 up to 14 is your alkaline. This survives very well in the alkaline soil. And coconut requires moisture throughout the year. That is why in the coastal area you have rainfall, and that is why it grows very well along the coast. If you move along the Indian coast, right from Maharashtra to Kerala and down from Kerala to Andhra up to your Bengal, Odisha and Bengal, you will find very good cultivation of your coconut all along the coastal area. And you will find this is also cultivated with intercropping. There are certain crops that grow in shade. For example, we had discussed about cocoa. Cocoa grows in shade, coffee and other cocoa, then your cocoa, tapioca, etc. So many crops require shade. So the tall coconut tree would be growing, and between the coconut tree you can grow the plant which requires shade loving plants. Now one of the interesting commercial crop is your coffee. In case of coffee, basically the dried beans are roasted and grinded. It is the beans which are roasted and grinded. Coffee is a native of Africa, and the Europeans carried it across the world. Basically coffee belongs to Africa, but world's leading producer of coffee at present is Brazil. So just take a look. Native of Ethiopia, but major producer is Brazil. Rubber, native of Brazil, native of Brazil, but major producer is Indonesia and Malaysia. So the crops were spread worldwide by the Europeans. So the origin may be somewhere, but the producer can be somebody else. So a lot of changes taken place over the last 2 centuries by these European colonizers. These are the beans. So these beans are dried and they are roasted for coffee production. These beans are dried and roasted for coffee production. These are the beans. In India, for promoting coffee, we have an organization called Coffee Board of India. Coffee Board of India is associated with promoting coffee cultivation, regulating this sector so that there is proper growth. So for growth of this sector, Coffee Board of India has been constituted. So the commercial cultivation, basically the seed of the coffee were first bought into India by Baba Budan. Baba Budan bought the coffee seed into India. So coffee seed into India was bought by Baba Budan. But if you consider the commercial cultivation of coffee, it was done by the European planters. The European planters went for the commercial cultivation of coffee. In fact, many times there can be a discussion that perhaps the first industry in India was plantation crop. Plantation crop were the first large-scale organized business in India, plantation crops. So European colonizer went for plantation crop. You can say the first large-scale organized business in India. So the British entrepreneur, they invested money in the hilly tracts in South India, in the hostile forest terrain in South India. So the coffee is grown under the canopy of thick natural shade in the Western Ghat and Eastern Ghat area. Under the natural thick forest, the tall trees are there. So this is also example of a plant which can be cultivated under intercropping. It grows under shade. So the coffee is cultivated under the two-tier mixed shade canopy. The tall tree provides the shade and the coffee would be growing under there. So these trees consist of the evergreen leguminous tree. Now more than 50 different type of shade trees are found in coffee plantation. So more than 50 type of trees are there which provide shades to the coffee plants, and that gives you the ideal condition for growth. So the shade, what is the purpose of shade? It also prevents soil erosion by the sloping terrain. The rainwater will not fall directly, it will first fall on the tree and then it will slow down. The leaves that will fall will enrich the soil. They will provide the nutrient. And they also protect the coffee plant. They protect the coffee plant from seasonal fluctuation in temperature. The shade gives a sense of serenity. Extreme temperature conditions have less impact on the plant which are growing under the shade. And this shade also provide an area for diverse plant and animal life, diverse flora and fauna. So basically, the coffee cultivation area are also the area where you have production of spices. So if you take into account the coffee growing area and the spice growing area, you will find there is a continuity between the two. There is continuity between the two. So coffee plantation in India are essentially also the spice world. For example, in this area you have production of spices like pepper, cardamom, vanilla, orange, banana, etc. They will be growing along with the coffee plants. Now this is the primary coffee cultivation area in India, and that is sourced from Coffee Board of India. Coffee Board of India. If you go to the website, this image is from the Coffee Board of India. And this coffee, particularly the Western Ghat, where this coffee cultivation area is there, if you take a look at this one, this is the Western Ghat, and here the Western and Eastern Ghat area meet. So this is the area of one of the 25 biodiversity hotspot of the world. And this coffee cultivation, it also sustains the unique biodiversity of this area. This also sustains the unique biodiversity of this area. The socio-economic condition, the environmental condition in these remote hilly areas. So these crop are one of the best suited. You have two main varieties of coffee. Arabica and Robusta. We have two main varieties of coffee, coffee Arabica and coffee Robusta. Arabica and Robusta, these are two main varieties. Coffee Robusta. Arabica has low caffeine content but rich in aroma. So the caffeine content in Arabica is less, but smell or aroma is very high. Arabica. And Robusta, in the Robusta variety, the caffeine content is high, and this is preferred for making instant coffee. Due to high amount of your caffeine, the Robusta variety is preferred for making instant coffee. Coffee cultivation is generally done on slopes and at medium altitude, say up to 1500 meters. When you compare it with tea can grow even at higher altitude like 2000 or 2500 meters. You also have the Britishers also had tea plantation in Kangra and Uttarakhand. But coffee generally in plateau area with a altitude of around 1000 to 1500 meter, that is preferable. That is why Western Ghat is the preferable area for coffee cultivation. Western Ghat, not very high altitude. And in coffee, Karnataka is the leader. Karnataka accounts for 55% of the area and 70% of the coffee production. So number one is your Karnataka, and in Karnataka, Coorg and Chikmagalur, these are the major coffee plantation area. There are different regional variety of coffee also. Nilgiri coffee, different names are also there, different branding is also done depending. Both in tea and coffee, you have Darjeeling tea, Assam tea. Similarly, in case of coffee also, Coorg coffee, Chikmagalur, Travancore. Depending upon the area, that coffee can have a particular taste. Branding is also done by Coffee Board of India in that. If you want to learn more, you can visit the website of Coffee Board of India, very interesting website. Now this Coffee Board of India comes under Ministry of Commerce. Then next important plantation crop is oil palm. The next important plantation crop is your oil palm. Now India faces crisis in terms of pulse and oilseed. The two major crises that Indian agriculture, or two major challenge for Indian agriculture at present, is your pulse and oilseed. At present, India imports more than 50% of its edible oil consumption. India imports more than 50% of its edible oil consumption. So the challenge is how to increase the production of oil. In pulse also, rice and wheat have increased, but not pulse. So this is oil palm is one of the cheapest edible oil yielding crop. cheap and high yielding. So yield per hectare can vary from 4 to 6 ton per hectare. 4 to 6 ton per hectare. If you compare it with other crops, if we compare the production of your oil palm with other crops, it is much ahead. For example, mustard. Mustard would be around 1 to 1.5 tons per hectare maximum. Mustard. If you take into account soybean oil, it is around 600 to 700 kg per hectare. So oil palm production per hectare is much higher than other edible oil which India uses. That is why if you want to increase the production of oil, you have to go for palm oil. The major producer of palm oil in the world are Indonesia and Malaysia. Indonesia and Malaysia are the two major palm oil producers in the world. Two major producers. So this is the palm tree, oil palm tree, and these are the seeds which are crushed to get your palm oil and palm kernel oil. So you get oil by crushing these fruits. Others, you crush these fruit from where you get the oil. We get two type of oil. One is palm oil or the edible oil. This outer portion is mesocarp. This is the palm oil. From this portion, when we crush, we get the palm oil. This palm oil is used for edible purpose. And palm kernel oil, this is used for industrial purpose. The inner portion, this is the kernel, and this palm kernel oil is used for industrial purpose. And the mesocarp, or the middle portion of the fruit, mesocarp portion is used for palm oil, and this is the edible oil, and this gives you the edible oil. This gives you the edible oil. Palm oil is rich in beta carotene. This can be converted into vitamin A, and its color varies from yellow to orange. Palm oil color can be yellow to orange depending upon the amount of beta carotene. So depending upon the amount of beta carotene, the color can vary from yellow to orange. Now India faces challenge in edible oil. So the way out is go for those varieties which can give you higher yield. That is why India is now encouraging palm cultivation. But the challenge is the first crop of palm will appear only after 4 to 5 years. The palm tree will grow up, the oil palm tree will grow, and then it will give the first crop. And it takes 4 to 5 years for the first crop to appear. Most of the farmers in India are small or marginal farmers. So the farmers cannot wait for 5-year period. That is why you need to, if you want the farmers to shift to oil palm, you have to compensate them. For this period. You have to compensate the farmers during this period where there is no production. Now what are the advantages of oil palm? If we take a look at the advantage, number one, highest oil yield per hectare. When you compare it with others, it has the highest oil yield. The next, if you compare, it is 4 to 6 ton per hectare. Mustard, the second lowest is 1.2 ton or maximum 1.5 ton per hectare. So very high yield. Number two, reduce dependence on import of edible oil. So your import is reduced. At present, we are importing more than 50% of our edible oil. Third is, in India, land is limited, 130 crore population. So we have limited scope for area expansion. Area under oilseed, the area for oilseed crop will have limitation because growing population subsume the agricultural land for housing purpose, for industrial purpose, for commercial purpose. So land expansion is not the choice. You have to increase the production level. So for that you have to shift to oil palm. Several byproducts are possible. For example, palm kernel oil. Beside palm oil, it is also giving you palm kernel oil. This has application in pharmaceutical industry. This can also be converted into biodiesel. You can also convert palm kernel oil into biodiesel. Pharma industry. So multiple applications are there. Then it is less vulnerable to pest and disease. The chance of pest and disease is also less. Chance of pest and disease is also less in case of oil palm. Now what are the disadvantages? So those were the advantages. Now let us take a look at the disadvantage of palm oil. Disadvantage of palm oil cultivation. The first is high capital cost. Investment is high. Modern technology you need. You need to bigger area. Area is required. Area investment. Number two, long gestation period. That is the first crop appearing after 4 to 5 years. So despite, if you calculate both the advantage and disadvantage, India should shift for oil palm. At present, we import huge amount of palm oil from Indonesia and Malaysia. We are the largest importer of palm oil from Indonesia and Malaysia. So the way out in case of oil seed or yellow revolution is to increase oil palm production. That is why the Ministry of Agriculture has a special program. Ministry of Agriculture and Farmer Welfare has a special program for oil palm area expansion, OPA, oil palm area expansion under Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana. Under the Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana. Under RKVY, government is planning to increase the area under palm oil cultivation. It is encouraging farmers and others to go for it. The other important program that is being run is National Mission on Oilseed and Oil Palm. And one component of this mission is on palm oil. National Mission on one. There are three components. One component of it is on palm oil. So this is from the source of Ministry of Agriculture and Farmer Welfare. This has been sourced from the government website. Now another interesting plantation crop is rubber. Rubber. The scientific name is your Hevea brasiliensis. Hevea brasiliensis. Brazil, origin of this plant is in Brazil. That is why the name Hevea brasiliensis. So this grows well in laterite soil. You will find laterite soil in those areas where heavy rainfall is there. Laterite soil are present in those areas where rainfall is on the higher side. In India, the major producer are Kerala and Tamil Nadu. Kerala and Tamil Nadu are the major producer of your rubber. The traditional area. These two were the traditional area. Now rubber cultivation has spread to non-traditional area like Tripura, Meghalaya, some parts of Odisha also. It has spread to those areas, non-traditional areas. Now the climatic condition for rubber plant is wet and humid condition. Wet, humid climate is required. Wet condition and humidity. And this grows mainly on slopes. It grows mainly on slope. Propagation or the next generation, say you want a new plant. So that is propagation, means coming out with the next generation. propagation is through seeds, propagation is through seed, and vegetative propagation is through budding and grafting. Vegetative propagation is through budding and grafting. In budding and grafting, you put the upper portion or the graft on a scion or the lower portion. We'll study budding and grafting separately. So for rubber also you have Rubber Board of India. Now in case of tea, the next important commercial crop or the plantation commercial crop is your tea. We all enjoy our cup of tea. So the criteria for tea or the soil that tea plant prefer is acidic soil. Acidic soil. We get refreshment with tea because tea contains a stimulant. Stimulant activate your nervous system. So stimulant, the primary thing that stimulant does is activate your nervous system. Activate your nervous system. So say you are feeling sleepy. Now when you get a cup of tea, you feel alive or you get energetic. The reason is tea contains caffeine, and caffeine is the stimulant.